Hello, Oaklanders. Welcome to Oakland's Discord, and welcome to my channel. This is the Floor Lord. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a few of the updates that might be coming out. They've posted a couple of sneak peeks in regards to things that are going to be coming out in the near future, as well as a lot of questions. And I absolutely love that the typical developers are actually doing this, because they build a game, but they also want to build a game for us. And so they're taking these polls and these interests of the players. So we're going to go through that, talk about it a little bit, see how things are going. So let's jump into it. So the first one is this first picture. Looks like a Flora Laura. I don't know what's with this guy who's stabbed in the heart. But yeah, it looks kind of interesting. We'll get to a couple of the pictures on the inside. This was really funny. They had everything marked as classified, so you couldn't see what was going on. And they said 1,000 reactions. Well, we'll just add to that. But they did hit that 1,000 reactions, and it's not cheesecake. And I think this is in regards to the official brick. They've always been asking about a buyable brick, which is just funny. But yeah, that was kind of funny. Wrong picture. They're funny. But this was talking about a couple of the different items. It looks like they're going to be different collectible items. This kind of reminds me of the masks that you can get in fungi finds. So you can collect different kinds of vases. Maybe they're different materials, different colors, and things like that. Looks like they've got a new lamp. It might just be a different color. I don't know. We'll have to see if it's a different kind of brightness or something like that. It'll be interesting to see. And then if you see up in this tiny little corner, maybe that's a brick? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to sneak it in there. Who knows? Guess we'll find out. Alright. And then Hoofer says, just an FYI, this is not the content, or not all the content, just a small sneak peek. So it'll be fun to see what they have and where they put that store. Because looking at this, I mean, it looks like the backside. I can't tell. I don't know if this is the snow biome, and so this is kind of over by that beach area, over by the lighthouse. Maybe they're adding on to there. I don't know. Tell me your thoughts of where you think this store is going to be. I'm kind of interested. Alright, moving down. Okay, now we're going to get into this big stuff. This is the stuff that was posted today. And we're going to kind of go down the list, and I'll give you my opinion on it. And my opinions probably are vastly different than others. Because I play this game for an entirely different reason than all of you guys. So, let's see. Yeah, so they're looking for community input on a few features. Ask them all at once. So, in terms of vehicle and their sensitivity, do you feel like they're too sensitive or they're fine? In my opinion, I like them. I think it's fine. The only one that I feel is absolutely kind of crazy is the Oakmobile, just because of how much horsepower it has right off the bat. But other than that, whoops. I think they're fine. So we'll mark that one. In terms of dragging items, do you feel like it's fast and instant with lack of energy? I think it's fine as well. They've done a really good job. When I first started playing, I was playing on the Xbox, and that was always kind of a little bit of a pain. They've done a really good job, but now I play on PC, so I think things are going really well with that. In terms of decorative structures, do you feel that more focus should be put on structures for building rather than other content? Or content should remain focused on areas and limited events. I'm going to go against the grain on this one. I think that content should remain focused on areas and limited events, and that's mainly because I love being a collector. If you see my other videos, the big thing that I'm trying to build is a museum, basically just to kind of show everything that has been and that is in Oaklands. From everything from the past all the way up until today. So it's going to be a little bit against the grain, but I like building. It's great, and I wish I could build like some of these other guys that spend hours and even days on some of their builds. But yeah, for me, I like the limited events. It gives it a little bit of a fresh feel when they are adding in new things. And then like different areas. I think the areas that they have put in are good, but I also feel like if they can focus on areas in regards to adding stuff into those areas, I think that would be good. Like for example, the snow biome. There's nothing really as of yet. I'm sure they're working on it, but there's nothing in the snow biome outside of the snow trees and the ice rocks. So I'm sure that a store will come in the near future. But I mean, it would be interesting, and I've said it in some past videos, it would be interesting to see some things in regards to adding, like, instead of ores, adding in gems. And if you can collect those kinds of things, or get different kinds of cuts for gems, you can collect those kind of things. Me personally, I love to collect. I love to grind. I love, I don't mind, trying to work up and get all that money and things like that. So yeah, a little bit against the grain, I guess, on that one. Moving on though, in terms of updates, do you feel like updates should be spaced out monthly with a large amount of content around a theme, or updates should be every other week with small additions? Monthly would be great. We don't need a whole lot of content, and it'll actually, give us a little bit of time if we needed to grind up for, buying for these special events and things like that, if we wanted to make some money and really splurge on collecting things. Like for me, as an example, as a collector, I love that. And I don't need the weekly updates. Small little updates here and there, bug fixes and things like that. I think that's totally fine. Not a big deal. But, having these monthly updates, if it was like a scheduled monthly update, like the first Friday of every month, we kind of know and can anticipate, when to do that. So, all right. So in regards to the game polish, do you feel that more focus should be put in on how content looks and feels, like sounds, effects, etc., or the amount of polish is always already good as is? You can always do it better. The only thing that I feel might detract from this is if how much sound and effects and everything that goes into the game will start to make it so that the game lags. I definitely don't want that, because if the game starts to lag because of how much stuff that you're adding in, then I think that's when you start running into problems. So if they can add those things in like they have when, I think just the tiny little thing like where they added the sounds to the stone and to the wood and things like that, that was great. I mean, it just adds a little bit more of the realism to the game, so it's really nice. In terms of new areas, do you feel like areas should be expanded off of the island rather than continue additions to the current island, or focus should continue towards the current island? I'm going to go against the grain. I think they should continue with the current island. I think the island is fantastic. I mean, it's always fun to get, new areas like, the river update, the magma update, that's great. But I feel like there's so much in the game right now that you don't really need to add more areas, because then it's just going to be so big that you're not going to be able to, you're not going to see everything. You're not going to be able to get to everything. And if it gets bigger and bigger, I mean, it's going to take forever to just travel from one side of the island to the other. And then you just feel like for most of the game you're driving just to go and get, that one special thing. Obviously, for me, I do that. But yeah, I think if they just, focused on, adding on to what is already there, I think that'd be really good. Why do you play Oaklands? See, and mine is collecting. I love collecting. I like earning money. I like building and creating too. I mean, it's kind of nice, but I mean, I think those are the biggest ones. I just spent all my money. I'm so mad. After that update, I bought 3 axes, 10 minutes after the update when it was like $220,000, and I bought 3 axes and I got nothing. So I'm probably going to go back into the game today. I haven't been into the game since I kind of rage quit. I was so mad because I spent, 600 600,000 plus on nothing. It just took it away. And I tried reaching out and asking, like, how do you get, your money and your refunds back? And I've gotten no response. So I'm just going to have to grind it back, I guess, which is fine. But in regards to machinery, do you think that Oaklands would benefit from having more machinery, even if it doesn't become a meta? Or they don't need machinery that's not meta for making money? Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to try things out. Some things work, some things don't. So, yeah, I think that'd be kind of interesting to see what they come up with. Because if they try out different things, they might make something that does become a meta. That'd be kind of fun. Do you think Oaklands would benefit from new areas containing enemies? See, and I'm going to go against the grain on this one too. I think, it's not necessarily that it fits or it doesn't fit. I think, if you have different areas that have different parts of what Roblox is, I think that's what makes it fun. Because, I mean, obviously, you got simulator kind of games, you've got survival kind of games, you've got shooter kind of games, you've got obby kind of games. I mean, if you had a good mixture of different kinds of, of these different kinds of genres in Roblox in one game, people like different things. Like that question that's up here where it's like, why do you play Oaklands? Some people like to build. Some people like to collect things. Some people like to make the money. Some people like obbies. Some people like survival games. Some people like the tycoon kind of games. So if you can kind of like, not necessarily mesh it all into one game, but if you can make different features, kind of incorporate all of those into one game, you're going to be pulling in more people. Because, if people love obbies, to get that special stone or special tree or a special item or something like that, trying to get up into the mountains or something like that, or they have to fall all the way back down and try again. It's going to make it so that, it's going to frustrate some people because they don't like obbies, but it will incentivize a more collected group of individuals that like all different kinds of things to come and play the game. I think that'd be good. Let's see. Do you think that materials in Oaklands should be less RNG and more challenge and skill? Yeah, less RNG. It'd be nice to go to an area and just be like, this is where I get this. I mean, it can still be kind of rare, but man, coming across some Adderite or some Mithril or Obsidian right now, it's like, oh, there you are, random. It's kind of nice to find those things, but it makes it difficult because a lot of times they can be anywhere. Like the Adderite's down in the magma, but yeah, it can be difficult. It'd be nice to, for those that are trying to hunt down certain items and stuff like that, to know like, okay, I need to be in this area, and it can still be an RNG kind of a thing in that area, but yeah, it'd be interesting. Do you feel as though the charging system is pretty useless and could be replaced with a cooldown system, or it's fine? Yeah, it's fine. Do you feel as though there's not enough items to grind for and to work towards and acquire? There's not enough things. Yeah, there's definitely not enough things. I mean, you can get tons and tons of money. I do like, for me as a collector, I mean, I love to try and, like a Pokemon kind of a thing, try and collect them all. Right now I'm working on the dice, trying to get all the different colors and materials and grind for that kind of stuff. But it would be kind of nice to get different things to collect. I really wish that I could know, in terms of when there's presents, whether there's like the item is a collector's item kind of thing, because I would buy like 10 of every kind of item, and like, for example, the Christmas event, they had tons of different kinds of presents. I think there's 12 or 13 presents, and I bought like 10 of every single kind. And then when it comes to the end and you're able to open them up, it's like, oh, I've got 10 of the same thing. But then when it comes to like that the block that's all the different collectibles, I would have loved to bought hundreds of those. I wouldn't mind grinding just to get all the different variations, or try and get the different variations, but I didn't know. And I know that's part of the game, but I really wish that I could know what the updates are, or what the big different collectible ones are and which ones aren't. But let's see. Adding on to this, would you rather us revamp current areas on the map and make them more interesting, similar to the magma cave and the river updates, or work completely on new zones and areas? Yeah, there's plenty there. New terrain, variations, items. Yeah, I think what's there is great. If we could just build onto that, that'd be great. Relating to vehicle revamp and Alan's Auto Logistics, would you like to see more vehicles with varying utility, even if they aren't meta? Adding vehicles, even if they aren't meta. Finish the semi-truck and vehicle revamp and then work on more important content. Yeah, I mean, trying out different vehicles, I think it's the same kind of thing. Try it out, see if it works. If not, we can let it go. Okay, no promises. Please select all that apply to you. Would you like to see more competitions, leaderboards, and Discord events where developers interact with the community? Absolutely. Competitions, building, logic, etc. Yeah, sure. In-game leaderboards. This may not be possible for us to implement, so no promises. Yeah, why not? Discord events where developers interact with the community. Yeah, that's always good. And you guys are doing a great job. Typical developers when it comes to reaching out, like things like this. I think that's really good. One thing that would be really nice to see is not necessarily competitions, but maybe like I know that they had talked about quests, but if they brought in like a daily quest activity kind of a thing, it would bring people back to the game. whether it's like, catching fireflies or, selling, 10 pieces of forged any kind of ore kind of a thing, or rock, one that might be a little bit more difficult to find or go and get, some purple cactus or something like that, or some red cactus. Do you think that the in-game music is repetitive and could have multiple tracks for a region, or it's fine? I think it is a little repetitive, and I've said my opinion on the bridge. I really wish that they would take that music that's specifically for the bridge where the drawbridge used to be, and put that somewhere else in the game. Because that's my favorite song in the whole thing. If quests were to be added, would you rather have them be purely for cosmetic or fun things? Completing quests could give you a decorative item, cool looking tools, etc., or play a more important role in progression, requiring you to complete quests in order to move on. Oh yeah, move on. Yeah. It'd be fun to do a quest to get you better stuff or more stuff. And that might be, leading into that other thing where it's like talking about enemies. If you don't like enemies, don't go to that area. But it would add a different type of challenge to the game. We've had challenges in the past, in terms of enemies, things that are trying to kill you. I mean, we've already got the mushrooms. You try and survive inside the mushroom cave, and then for Halloween, I mean, we had the eyeball that tried to kill you. It would be interesting to see, if there were, things to deter you or make it more difficult to get in certain areas. Now, the only thing that comes to mind right now is if there were enemies to the point where it just becomes almost to the point where you would rage quit, where you're just like, you cannot get past a certain area because if there was like, I don't know, snow golems in the snow and you're just trying to get past them kind of a thing, and they just keep knocking over your truck, or things like that, where I mean there's nothing worse than just trying to drive around inside the river cave and having everything just spill out of your truck. It's just it's so aggravating. But yeah, so I think that's everything. I'm sure they're going to be adding in a few more questions as they start to work on things, like they're all the developers are kind of asking questions, which is kind of nice. So I mean, you've got Jack and Hoofer and Kinder. They're all kind of asking all these different kinds of questions, but I absolutely love that they're talking to us, the community, the players, because they're building a game, but we're the ones that play the game. And I absolutely love Oaklands. I love Woodmill Inc., but I really love what they've done with Oaklands, and I'm going to continue playing this game, no matter what they really do. But I do look forward to what they have up their sleeves, especially with all these like sneak peeks and things like that. I'm excited. I'm excited for where Oaklands is going, and I think that it's only going to be good things. But anyways, I just wanted to share this with you guys. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you have any input or insight, definitely write it down in the comment section of your thoughts. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. So if you'd like to, if you found this insightful or interesting, make sure that you like and subscribe the video, and then give me a thumbs up if you found it helpful.